It was apparent that the shoplifter thought she was alone in the aisle, when in fact she wasn't. As a fairly nondescript and ordinary-looking woman rounded the end of the shelf at the bottom of the aisle, she brushed past a 2-meter-high pot plant with thick, fleshy green leaves and headed for the exit beside the checkout points. Suddenly, the shoplifter tripped and fell headlong onto the floor, spread-eagled. The small boxed movie player she'd tucked under her shirt had slipped out and skittered a short distance away. She groaned, embarrassed, and quickly turned over and discovered a vine wrapped tightly around her ankle. "Now, how did that happen?" she wondered, puzzled, hoping the store security hadn't been attracted by the sound of her fall. How had the plant fallen over like that? Had she walked too close to it? Was it a creeper? Creepers didn't grow that fast, did they? She tugged at it frantically and realized in frustration that it wasn't letting go. She called out uncertainly. "Little help, please?" "Special branch," said a husky, masculine voice from extremely close by. A branch that seemed to move on its own produced a shiny security badge from under some leaves and stuck it under her nose. As it began to dawn on the shoplifter that it was the plant itself that was doing this and speaking, her eyes slowly widened and her face became a mask of terror. The plant creature wiggled some other leaves that might have been eyebrows, if plants could have eyebrows, at her, and somehow gave her the impression that it was grinning as well. "Who's been a naughty girl, then?" the alien teased just as a couple of uniformed mall security guards arrived to take her into custody and release the woman's ankle. "Attaboy, Fred!" One of the guards had turned to grin at him proudly. "Well done!" and winced as the shoplifter began to scream loudly and repetitively. "Oh, gods!" "Shut up," said the second guard, reaching down to grab hold of the hysterical shoplifter who was screaming, her wide eyes fixed on the plant. "No worries," said the plant creature and gave its colleagues a mock salute with a tentacle-like branch. Her screams were still audible until well after the other security men had cuffed her and dragged her out of sight to the mall security office. What was this strange, sentient, mobile plant? Where had it come from? Well, for starters, it came from the planet Arborea, which was known for being the only planet where the forests migrated with every seasonal change. And secondly, this individual was called Fred. Arboreans came in all shapes and sizes, usually potted, and used 2 or more lower branches to move around, usually in a way that would cause jaws to go slack and lampposts to be walked into by lesser beings. The shopping mall had been Fred's current home, sort of, for a while now, in exchange for helping the mall security staff to keep an eye on things. The rest of the time, Fred parked his pot over at Cindy May's place, in the lounge close to the balcony door. The pay wasn't too bad, not that Fred really cared too much for currency. After all, what could he buy with it that he really needed? Air was free, and he could get water easily enough. Experience and knowledge, and intelligent conversation, that which Fred craved more than anything, came free, or at least cheaply. Satisfied with another job well done, Fred adjusted his pot proudly as a man might adjust his belt. Fred's pot was fairly plain as pots went, but his bore an unusual new addition. A shiny medal had been riveted to one side because, well, he had nothing to pin it to. The medal was a Solus Gratuity Award, which, aside from commuting a death sentence, was the highest honor that the Terran Empire could bestow on anyone. Like most Arboreans, Fred didn't place terribly much value on such material things. A simple thank you would have sufficed, but the circumstances under which he received it had rather amused him, so he kept it. How Fred got that, and very legitimately, was another story altogether. Black Sunrise, if you really must know.